Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chandler Creech with Creech Excavation and Contracting. Just wanted to throw together a short little video of us doing a little bit of maintenance on our equipment. We'll be working on our Cat 304 and our 259D. All right, so we got the new filter on. I'm gonna wait for the rest of the old oil to drain, and in the meantime, I'm gonna replace the fuel filter and the water fuel separator down in there. All right, so there's a drain on the bottom of the fuel filter. Got a little container under there. You can drain out the filter and then take the housing off and replace the filter. Your new filter will come with a new O-ring. Just go ahead and replace that, and then it's got a seal for the bottom of the filter housing as well. Go ahead and slide your new filter in there. Should be good to go. Check out some of these chunks in this old filter. You do not want that in the fuel system. All right, we got the oil filter, new oil in, both fuel filters. Now we're gonna replace the hydraulic filter. You want to get out of here. I'm gonna have to pull this panel off right here. Probably should have drained the bottom of this before I took the filter out, but too late now. Here's the part number for the hydraulic filter on a 304. There's 2 clips on the side of this filter that help it seat in there a little bit better, so make sure you snap those down. We're gonna go ahead and top the hydraulic fluid off. There's a little gauge here on the left side of the tank where you can tell how much you need to add. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and crank this up, let that oil warm up, and then I'm gonna check the fluids again. Let that fuel pump prime itself up, and then we'll crank it up again. All right, guys, got it fired back up. You might have issues starting it after you replace the fuel filters. Sometimes it gets air in the line after you replace it. With these newer machines, you're not supposed to pre-fill the fuel filter, and there's not a priming pump on it. So, well, there's an electrical priming pump, there's not a hand pump on it. So all I did was loosen this set screw basically right here, drain some of the fuel out 3 or 4 times, and then turn the key over and primed it, I'd say 4 or 5 times. At first it was firing up and dying, it just wasn't getting fuel and there's air in the line. So if you prime it and let some of that air out, you can also loosen this filter up, prime it, and then once you start to get filter out the top here, usually you got most of that air out. But we got it fired back up. I'm gonna go ahead and replace these air filters and then the cabin filter for the AC, and I'll film that as well. All right, so here's the inner filter. There's the part number, and this is the outer filter. We'll go ahead and pop these old ones out, get those changed. Make sure you clean out the inside of this. Usually there's quite a bit of dirt and dust in there, so I don't want to suck any of that up. This filter is long overdue. All right, so that outside casing actually doesn't come out. It's just this internal filter right here. So go ahead and replace those, put the new ones in. The difference in those two. I'm gonna go ahead and hit this with a little bit of air as well. All right, the last filter we're gonna replace, here's a part number. It's just the internal filter right behind this plate. So just slides right in there. All right, guys, that is a full service on a 304. Still need to clean this one up a little bit, grease everything, but that is a full service on this one. All right, we're gonna do the same thing on our 259. Full service, filters, fluids, whole 9 yards. All right, we're gonna pull this bottom plate off to get to the drain plug. Check out that mess. This one takes a 7/8. Put it on This one holds quite a bit more oil than this filter on the 259 is kind of tricky to get to, especially trying to wiggle it out of there, but it'll come. The oil filter part numbers on the 259 and the 304 are the exact same. So we'll go ahead and put this on there. Get a little bit of oil and rub it around the seal. So don't have any issues with it. Just snug this one up as well. You don't want to over tighten it, strip it out. Back on. I'm gonna go ahead and drain the fuel filter so we can take that out, get the housing off and replace that filter. Loosen the set screw, maybe. There we go. Loosen this, get all this fuel out of the filter, and then we're going to replace this. There's a secondary fuel filter behind this one, so we'll have to replace both of those. But all right, got that drained. Now I will go ahead and loosen up this fuel filter housing. All right, there's a connector on the bottom of this that you'll want to disconnect. Get her out of here. Drain the rest of the way. I'm gonna go ahead and spray this with some parts cleaner. Clean this up a little bit. All right, we got the housing cleaned up. Here's the part number for the fuel filter on a 259D. I believe it's the same part number as the 304. These come with a new gasket, so go ahead and replace your gasket on your filter housing. And then there's also a gasket on the bottom of this where you can let out that fuel on the bottom of the housing there. So go ahead and replace that one as well. There's the new gasket. I'm gonna go ahead and put some electrical connection cleaner on the bottom of these connections, just to be safe. As well as this one. There's a couple little grooves right here you need to line up, and then it should be pretty straightforward. Snug this one up. Try to clean some of this stuff up just to keep it looking a little bit better, easier to get to, and not much of a mess. Got the oil filled up, oil filter, fuel filter, and now we're gonna go ahead and replace the hydraulic filter. We're also gonna replace that secondary fuel filter. It's right back in there. Kind of a pain to get to, but once you get that bottom hose undone, you can just unscrew it and put the new one back on. All right, we got that secondary filter off. Here's the part number for the secondary filter. There's a set screw at the bottom of the hydraulic filter. Go ahead and loosen that up, let the hydraulic fluid drain, and then you can loosen the filter housing after that. All right, there's the old filter with the new filter. There's also 2 clips on each side of the hydraulic filter on the 259, so you want to go ahead and make sure you clip those in as well. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and top off the hydraulic fluid. Doesn't need much, but just a little bit. And there's a gauge back behind this plate that you can see the hydraulic level. Go ahead and pop this open. We're gonna replace the air filters on this as well. This one's also got an inner and an outer filter. We're gonna go ahead and replace both of those. Here's the part number on the inner filter. And then here's the outer filter. Wipe out that housing a little bit. Throw the inner filter in there. Here's the outer. It's a little bit better. Clean out this cover. Usually you want to line this up where this opening's facing straight down. Next, we're going to pull out this cabin air filter. Get this out of here. Here's the part number for that one. A little bit of a difference. All right, the last filter is in the cab. Here's a part number. Back here by the radio. Pull out the old one. new one back in there. You can see right there's the other one we replaced. We'll get that plate back on. All right, guys, we are just about done with this 259. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on this one. Prime the fuel filter, and then we'll go ahead and purge it, get all the air out of it, and we'll do that probably 3 or 4 times, and then go ahead and crank it up. All right, I'm gonna loosen the set screw, let all this fuel out, and hopefully get some of that air out, and then I'm gonna have my wife crank the key over again and get some more fuel back in this filter. Hopefully we can get all that air out of there. I'm gonna check the oil again and be wrapped up with this one. All right, guys, that's a full service on both pieces of equipment. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe the 304 down. A trick I've learned is put a little bit of diesel fuel in a rag, and that's about the best thing I've found to get rid of some of this grime and grease. We're actually supposed to get back to work this week on a clearing job, so I'm gonna clean this one up a little bit, and I think that'll be all for this video. Thanks, guys, for tuning in, and hopefully we can have more videos coming your way.